Today we're going to be using a technique called QFT, which stands for Question Formulation Technique. Has anybody used this or heard of this before in any of their other classes? Michael, where have you used it? Excel. Okay, Excel. Anybody else? And it's important to have a framework. When you write an essay, Paul, what's the hardest part about writing an essay?
Like starting it off and how you're going to.
Exactly. Becoming more self-sufficient. Is that important, Jimmy? Why is being self-sufficient important?
So you can manage time a little better, do other things that
Okay, good.
You don't have to rely on someone who might not have the same amount of, might have like conflicting things, so you can't work at the same time. But if you're self-sufficient, you can work on your own time.
Okay, good. Michael?
It allows you to move out of your parents' house.
Good. Because that else is it important to be self-sufficient, huh?
Well, basically not to goof off and stay on that topic. I don't know. Self-sufficient, so you're not thinking about something else, you're thinking about that topic. Okay? You're not getting distracted.
Okay, Rohan?
taking more time, pay attention
How many of you feel like you're self-sufficient right now? David, in what ways are you not self-sufficient?
I can't cook, so that's a problem.
Okay, good. That's a very important one, right?
Yeah.
So who do you rely on for that?
Mostly my mom.
And so what's going to happen when you go out in the big bad world? Or are you just going to live at home for the rest of your life?
Well, I'll probably have to learn to cook or just eat out every night.
Why do you think it's important to write down the question exactly? Why is it important to write down the question exactly? Especially if you're not the one doing it. Michael?
And it helps you to, it helps like, because if you just have a general idea but no exact like wording, then you have to come up with it when you actually ask the question, whereas if you have it written down, you can just read it off.
Okay. Good. But if you're writing down the question, let's say you're in your group today, right? And Jim, you're writing down questions, right? And David says something, and why is it important for you to write down exactly what he says?
because if I try to rephrase it, then when I choose the question that they then you look for the full answer that is for you.
Excellent answer. And so you're not only that, but you're also honoring his question, right? That's what he wanted to say, and so that's what you should write down. If you have a question that's slightly different than that, then there's nothing wrong with writing down another question that's slightly different from that. The second step here is establish a Q focus, and a Q focus is just what you're going to be dealing with. And so today's Q focus is list important questions to use with our engineer interviews. Because you're going to be interviewing engineers, right? Hopefully you're,
When's that due?
right, 13th of October. So that's your Q. I'm going to leave this up here on the screen for right now. Okay? So what I want you to do is work in the same groups of 3 that you've been working in. Okay? On the back table, there's a pad of paper. So grab yourselves a sheet of paper, grab markers. Before you do that, one person in each group should be somebody with good handwriting, should be the secretary, and somebody else in the group, or everybody else in the group, be aware of those rules. okay? Just remind each other not to discuss, if somebody wants to discuss, not to judge. Just write down as many questions as you can. And that's going to be kind of difficult because I'm setting the timer for 8 minutes or 10 minutes. So you got 10 minutes, okay? So grab your paper, grab some markers, get to work then.
How long have you had this job?
What are your working hours?
Just you stay on the meetings.
How many years have you been working? You or you? Working on this field.
Do you get days off?
As you're going through this, of these 4 rules, in this group over here, David, Damien, which one was the hardest for you to keep?
Judging and discussing the questions.
Okay. Why?
Because we roll one out and then we like give one and then we try and we think it's stupid or something and then we try and change it to sound better.
Is that what you're supposed to be doing? Is there a stupid question at this point? Good. How about you guys? What did you find was the hardest?
Writing it all down, they kept popping questions at me.
Good.
But you didn't go through.
No.
Because he was too preoccupied with writing out questions.
Okay, I'm gonna say that again just so the camera can hear because that's an important one. So you couldn't necessarily get your opinion out there because you were so busy writing.
Yes.
Good, that's an important one. So it's important to maybe, while you're doing this, rotate. How about gentlemen?
Right down to the question in 5 minutes, so it, because we kept like rephrasing the question, and make it easier.
Okay. And Paul, Edgar?
Either the judging part or writing down it exactly as stated.
Okay, good. And so what I'd like you to do now is take 2 minutes, and I want you to come up with, as a group, your 3 best questions. Okay? So what do you think are the 3 best questions? Talk about it.
I think the car one is one of the best.
There's no relevance. That's why.
But it's funny, but it's funny, but it's funny.
That's why when I heard you say that.
Between the first one.
How is this ever relevant in my life?
The top one, the car one.
Why do you think I broke you up into groups of 3 rather than having us do this as just one big class? Michael?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And it's a small group, so it'd be easier to come up with the best questions, and if we were to go and combine them, then we would have easier time.
Excellent. Anybody else? Good.
So everyone can contribute, but it's more like a big part, only like 4 or 5 minutes question, but you just sit and watch.
Good. Excellent. Anybody else?
Okay, wait, should I pull up the answer too?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look at it.
Okay, you guys are gonna have to use you're gonna have to use your really loud voice because this is the part that we really want on film. Okay?
First question, considering your engineering experience, what would you do differently in high school to properly prepare yourself? Second question, what does your average day consist of? And third question, since engineering is often associated with mathematics, what was the intensity level of your math classes in college?
What did you have to do to get this job? what advice would you give a person that is trying to get the job that you have? And how's your working environment?
Okay, good, excellent.
How does your field of engineering impact the world? What's your average pay in this field? And what are some suggestions for future engineers?
Excellent. Gentlemen?
How did you decide that you wanted to be an engineer? If you had another chance, would you do something else, or would you still be an engineer? And is your job challenging?
Okay. Thank you all for participating with this. What did we get out of, did this feel comfortable doing this?
Yes.
Was it a good way of coming up with a list of questions than doing it on yourself? Okay, the last thing I'd like you to do is thank your partners.
Thank you.